Okay, it's Q&A time. I'm here with our Grumpy Beardy. Some of you have been asking about him. Did a video on him if you want to watch that. But he's doing well. He's just always angry at everything and nothing all the time. So we'll see how he does. No need for an intro. Let's just get into the questions. First one being, what stuff are you selling on the shop? Asked by me. I asked that one. Well, good question, me. This is so bad. On the shop, we had just been selling merchandise there, but I've now increased it to supplies. So more merchandise is on the way. But until then, if you would like to enrich your enclosure a bit more with bioactive or just naturalistic supplies, I'm now selling cork stuff, wooden stuff, leaf litter, coconut fiber, isopods, and some other things. With more on the way, you can use code Q&A for 15% off your entire order if you're in the USA. Now let's actually answer real questions. Why do you run your car at like 0% battery all the time? If you don't know, I have an electric car. It's rated at 84 miles per charge, which is pretty low compared to other cars. It's made as like a city daily commute driver, which is perfect for what I do like 95% of the time when I go to like get food. That's all I do. But there are those times where I want to just go a little farther, and I usually make videos on it where we get kind of stuck. So generally the only times I've ever gotten stuck or close to stuck are in videos, which is like just two or three times, I guess. But other than that, it's perfect. I've had the Leaf for almost a year now, and I'm gonna make like a big video on it. Which, just a little side note, new electric cars, which are actually more affordable. In 2018 and 2019 on, it's like a 200 to 300 mile range per battery. We're getting there. It won't be all of them, but they're all actually like usable for road trips. So don't hate electric cars, or I'll kill you. What's your opinion on the Taylor Nicole Dean situation? Real juicy stuff. What's the most difficult obstacle you face with running and starting a business? Well, there's a lot. I don't know. I guess there's kind of like two businesses happening at once. There's GoHerping and there's Emerald Scales, and even though they're both reptiles, they are surprisingly different and don't feel similar at all. The biggest right now is probably just staying consistent and putting an equal amount of work in without completely burning myself out, which I'm sure is a term you're tired of hearing on YouTube, but burnout does happen to be a thing. And I haven't gotten there, and I don't want to get there, but when you're trying to like continually grow stuff and bring new things in without at the same time just completely getting tired of it, it's a weird balance, and I'm struggling to find it, but we can do it. It's fine. What do you think of this Shaggy meme? Can you rate it? Meant to be this one. What reptiles do you think make the worst pets? Well, of course, on top of my list, I gotta put savanna monitors right now. Not even necessarily because of the husbandry, like that's a big part of it, but also just because it's harder to have conversations with people when keeping monitors. There are lots of great keepers, like there's actually a Facebook group called like non-judgmental savanna monitor keepers or something, and that's a really good group. But the rest of the communities I've seen are not so fun. No one can agree on anything, and everybody thinks that their way is ideal. Again, that's generalizations. There's lots of good people throughout those communities, but it's a weird group. And that's not even because of the animal. Like, worst actual reptile to keep. Personally, I don't really like just display animals as much. That's just a personal thing. That's not even like a bad animal. I think what I'm learning is there is no like bad reptile to keep. It's just there's a lot of different options that don't fit for everyone. Do you plan on moving out anytime soon? Asked my mom. Not really, but it would have been funny if it was her asking. Well, we have kind of filled this room like to the brim. My other room is just filled with basically inventory. I don't have a closet right now. My clothes are just stuck in my bathroom. So yes, I am actually actively looking for a place, but I've never rented or bought anything. So it's gonna be interesting learning that and finding time for that in between everything else. But it is on the radar, so maybe this year, maybe next year, some sort of office or extra space or apartment or house or something. So we'll see. I'll try and keep you updated. What are your thoughts with the herp community, especially how opinionated it can be? A lot of people believe something has to be done an exact way and will talk you down if you don't do it that certain way. I mean, yeah, you just summed it up right there. I learned there's two extremes. I might do a video on this of the reptile community. Don't fall please. He can't really use his legs, so hopefully it doesn't fall off. But like the spectrum is from the like extremist strict people, and these are the people, like I have people tell me,
I can't believe you handle your reptiles.
They're to be treated as fish. This is not, it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. The people get angry when I pick up an animal. The fact that there's a beardy on my shoulder and not in a display enclosure is killing some people inside. And the other side of this He's seriously slipping. Maybe they're right. And then the other side of the spectrum is people that like get angry at you when you don't feed live because I can't believe you're like babying your animal. You need to toughen them up and feed them all live rats with like the biggest teeth. They can take it, it's fine. If they're not fine, then your animal just sucks. They deserve to die. Also not a joke. Of course, some people are joking when they say it, but I learned to tell the difference. It's a weird community. I'm sure it's like that in all communities, like let's say the knitting community on YouTube or something. I'm sure there's extremely opinionated people where you can do things wrong, but the difference is those opinions don't matter as much when it's knitting. Like, I get people take knitting seriously, but if you knit incorrectly, all you have is like a messed up blanket. If you care for reptiles incorrectly, you have dead animals. So it's a little different when you're working with live things, because you can't just flat out ignore other people, but you also have to be careful taking advice. What's your favorite animal you're currently keeping? I would say I don't have one, but I don't know. There's a couple. Like right now, I'm probably giving the male carpet python the most time. He had to have some antibiotics and stuff, so it was like we literally had to take him out so that we could treat him. But other than that, like I still just take him out a lot because he's chill, he's fun, he's sweet, and he's large and just easy to handle. So he's technically not even mine. He's kind of emerald scales, but we're still gonna try and breed him next season, so. Oh, next question, if you had to choose one animal to keep the rest of your life, which would it be? He's right behind me. It's Sylvester. Do you play League and are you interested? This is a very random question. I don't. I played like 5 years ago, but I'm just amazed. I'm answering this because I'm amazed that League is like still relevant somehow. Like on Twitch, it's one of the most popular games still. So that's impressive, but I thought it was a little boring. Which snake has been most difficult to care for? They're all like so easy. I don't have any super difficult snake species. Like I have larger species. Rosie is like 7.5 foot, which is large by some standards. But even she's just so simple. She takes up a good bit of space. Her enclosure is 6 feet. Even that's not that much space. The ball pythons are, honestly, it might be the ball pythons. I still think they're one of the best for people getting into reptiles, but they do tend to have the most issues here and there in comparison, like usually with feeding, but some people have more difficult with their humidity and stuff, so I guess a ball python, but that's not even hard, but you asked, so. What are your thoughts on keeping and capturing and keeping snakes from the wild in case of invasive species? As long as it's legal, I think it's great to keep invasive species, as long as you like don't breed them or release them again or whatever. I know like in Hawaii, it's people like import animals from there that are invasive there, or Florida or whatever. Even like Afro Keeper's Tegu is from Florida. So I think that's a great thing. So it's most certainly not doing any harm. If anything, it's helping. Of course, taking one animal out isn't gonna like fix the problem, but it's a tiny difference and I can't complain about that. So do it up if it's legal and if you're okay with possibly dealing with like parasites and other wild natural things. We ever open Emerald Scales stores? Retail's not a priority for the company. We're definitely focusing on online and everything else, but how cool would it be to actually have a storefront? So maybe someday, but it's not like in our plans right now. How much did you spend to start Emerald Scales? I'm not sure if I should give exact numbers, but way less than people think. We didn't like take a business loan. We each took like some money that we had saved up and just put it in over a couple months. It was like more than $200, less than $2,000. So a lot less than most people think. Do you pray to Brian Barczyk 3 times a day? No, but I pray for his animals. How far would you travel to pick up a rescue? What's the farthest you've traveled? Farthest we've gone is about 3.5 hours, that we did not take the leap for that. So all around it was about 7 hours of driving. We do have a vlog on that. That's on Ethan's channel. It's one of the coolest vlogs I think we've done. So it really depends. Like that was someone that really needed to get rid of them, and it was a lot of snakes, which is just, it's great to be able to get a lot all at once. So we had no problem going over 3 hours for that. So it really depends. Like, I don't know, maybe we drive like 5 hours if it's like this big reptile haul, as people call them or whatever. If you could make one horrid animal product illegal, what would it be? I personally vote for calcium sand. That's a good one. There's a lot more than one, unfortunately. Reptile leashes. Not really, they're so stupid. I put this picture of Goldie in a reptile leash and just look at them. It's so funny and sad. Why do they exist? Well, you still calcium sand, so I'll say like those nighttime bulbs that are like really bright. Like the bright red infrared ones that literally, they are infrared because they have heat, but they're also literally just red and the animal can see them. If YouTube was not your full-time job, what would be your career? Did you want to go to college? I wanted to go to college like when I was in like early middle school, and then in middle school I was like, wait, no I don't. So So if I've thought about this because at times I kind of came close to doing other things. So it'd probably be either photo or video related still, or outdoorsy related. But money wise, I was thinking of doing just like freelance video editing, photography gigs, stuff like that, like the basic stuff. Or like I used to want to do stuff with like National Geographic when I was younger, so that's a bit of a stretch, but I would always want outdoorsy and animal-y stuff to be part of my life, but I don't care if it's actually my income, even though it's like nice to make money on them. If you never get into herps, what do you think you'd be doing? Well, I used to love birds when I was younger, like elementary age. Somehow it switched to reptiles at some point. So I wouldn't mind if it was still just a bird thing. Like imagine it would be so loud in here if this was just like all birds. I guess this room's so small you could probably only keep like 2 birds in here. But it would definitely be either animal or video photo related, or like tech related. Also speaking of money, I used to code. Like I taught myself HTML, actually like in class. I was not listening in math, but I learned to code sites and it just got boring. I was like, this is very underwhelming. I'm tired of this. So now I use drag and drop editors for my sites. Oh, he also said, or she, I don't know which one, if the answer is a streamer besides streamer, I would not want to be a full-time streamer. I love watching streamers, but that seems very stressful, trying to get on camera live every day and entertain an audience. That's scary. Who would you choose? Personally, I go with number 3. However, Banana Dog looks very powerful. I guess 1. Is that a sidekick or is enemy back there? As the business grows, will you be employing more people? I think Kylie asked a lot of questions, mostly about business, but that's cool because I like talking about business. Yeah, hopefully. The more self-sustainable and automated you can make things, the more things you can grow in the future. So, like, if you didn't know, I don't care for a lot of the animals now because I have someone that helps me with like all of it. And then I come in and do other things where we need 2 people, or if there's just too much to do for like a single person. So I would like to definitely get more help on the digital side. I won't get a video editor. I know people don't want me to. I will keep editing, but maybe some help with like social media or the shop or whatever. That'd be nice. Same with Emerald Scales. How and when did you meet Ethan? Well, we technically met on Google+. Rest in peace, Google+. It's shutting down in a month. I lived on Google+ for so many years, and I'm actually gonna miss it. Like, I don't use it anymore, but still. But I had a Reptile group on, I think it's still there. It's called like Reptile Enthusiasts with some amazing graphics. He started posting his videos there. We started talking. I kind of stopped responding because I don't like people. And then we were getting frozen yogurt at the same time in the same city. And I was like, oh, it's you. Or he was like, oh, it's you. And I was like, oh, it's me. We need to reenact it someday. What keeps you going in making videos and such? Well, I think a big part of it's, of course, the growing community. Like, I made content for a couple years where I would get like a few views here and there. So if I was still getting like less than 100 views per video, like 7 years in, then I think it would be a lot less motivating. So of course numbers do help motivate you, like I'm not gonna lie. But also the fact that I have just like random fun ideas like, I don't know, reptile ASMR. That's so dumb, but it was really fun and people liked it. Or vlogs, I never thought I'd start vlogging, but it's like the most fun. So I think just mixing it up and not staying mundane and evolving as a channel. Are there any Emerald Scales animals you were sad to part ways with? Yeah, there were a lot. There's very few I regret parting ways with, but I'm still sad about a lot. One of my favorites, I called it Sad Gek, that was its nickname. It was this leopard gecko being housed with 3 other leopard geckos in a 5-gallon enclosure. It was a kind of like the less dominant female, and there was a very dominant male in there. He picked his favorite female, and he bullied this female. He bit all of her toes off. She was like, had kind of like little stubby toe things. But she was so sweet. She would just slide around on you. She didn't care at all. She ate really well. Even if you like took them out together, they'd be fine or whatever. There were other, I just love leopard geckos. It's always the leopard geckos that get me. Also that bearded dragon that was riding the Roomba, he was like agreed upon as our favorite beardy. No offense, old dude, but yeah, it's true. And I realized there's really not any snakes that I miss seeing, so I don't know if I get like less emotionally connected to snakes, or if we've just had, maybe I've given them less time, or they've been less interesting to me. So it's usually the lizards. If we made merch designs, can we send them to you? Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, as amazing as that is, I can't like put every design up because since I don't use like Teespring or anything, they're all printed like in-house, which is literally in my house and shipped out from here. So I have to order a lot of supplies for each design, so I can't just like pop any design up. But I have a artist folder in my inbox. You can always send me your portfolio, and then whenever I need a design, I just go through, find someone to hire, and see like if they're up for it. So You can send a portfolio. That's better than just like some random design that I didn't expect. Does amassing fame make you apprehensive or excited? Fame's a strong word, kind of. I would just say like a larger community or something, because it sounds less weird, like to me, because I'm just uncomfortable about it. I still very much so prefer being behind the camera. Like even in vlogs, Ethan will feel bad because a lot of the shots are just of him and not of me, even though it's on my channel. But it's because I always choose to be behind the camera. I much prefer shooting, editing, doing all that stuff. And that didn't answer the question. Oh, was it desired or is it just an added bonus? Yeah, it definitely wasn't desired. I still would prefer being behind the camera, but too late for that. If you could go back and change your brand name, what would you want it to be? I would say I would change it, but now it's too late and I don't know anything else, so I'm just chill with it. Who cares? How many times does your car run out of battery? Back to the car. Technically never. I've always made it to a place to charge, whether it's some random building on the side of the road or a charger that's just like really slow. I've been towed once and the charger actually worked, but I was like, I just don't feel like waiting because this charger's kind of broken. So technically never, but there have been some little mishaps when I try to go like 300 plus miles. So I stick to like less than 100 on a usual basis now. Do you plan to get any invertebrates? Asked Alan, he's like one of the most active people in the community actually. So thank you for spending 30 minutes to download Twitter. Invertebrates, they don't like scare me, but I'm a little apprehensive around them. I love seeing other people's invertebrates, but I do not have a desire to keep them right now. So who knows though? I don't know. Years ago, I'd never had the desire to keep a snake, so I don't plan on it and don't expect it, but you never know. It's the end of the world and you can only save 5 of your reptiles. Let's assume the cats are safe. Who do you save and why? I do have an answer, but people aren't gonna like it. They're gonna be like, what about blank? I only have 5, okay? I'm not working any loopholes. I'm not trying to do 2 at a time. I'll do Harriet, Franklin, Sunny, Rosie, and I don't know, only one more. One of the leopard geckos, I guess Goldie. I answered that way too quickly. Wait, stop everything. I forgot Betty. I'm sorry. I need Betty. Okay. I need Betty. Okay. Was there any specific event that made you choose to drop out of high school and start normal scales? Technically, I didn't drop out. I got my GED. It's basically just a fancy way to drop out. So I didn't start 12th grade for context, or finish 11th, I guess. So that was way before Emerald Scales was even an idea. Maybe it wasn't, but either way, it wasn't because of Emerald Scales. Well, so I switched from normal high school to online high school, and then by like halfway through the year, I wasn't even doing any schoolwork. I was just working for myself all the time. I was like, well, it's making money. I want to do this anyway. I can always go back to school. If I get my GED, you can still go to college, just like community college and then a college. So I'm not doing schoolwork anyway. Let's just leave. So here we are, still not regretting it yet. Still not broken on the street. Should Elon Musk host meme review? I'm hoping by the time I upload this, he will have already, because I've been checking like twice a day. I can't take this kind of stress, and now PewDiePie's on holiday and he's never gonna do it. What's the oldest animal in your care? Also, what's the first animal you got? Oldest is Rosie, the BCI. She's about 22 years old now, I guess. Second is Franklin, he's 12 years old. Third are actually the cats. Well, one of our cats is 15, and then the other 2 cats are 8. Sunny is like 6 or 7, or 8. I should know this. Do you ever talk to your animals when you're holding them or hanging out? Again, speaking of cats, I do talk to my cats. I don't know why I don't talk to the reptiles. I like think about, I like have like a mental conversation with them. That makes me sound insane, but I usually don't say it out loud to them. Is that weird or is that bad? Should I talk to them more? Why is your family never in videos? I don't want like everything on camera, but I'm not a family vlogger and I don't want to be. How do animals impact your life mentally and physically? In a lot of ways, as I'm sure you probably know, along with a lot of other people. Do you play Fortnite? I gave Fortnite, when the week it came out, I gave it like a solid chance. I played it for like 30 minutes. I was like, this is pretty lame. I do play Apex Legends now though, and I think it's less lame. I have 4 wins too, okay? Nobody cares. Do you still have the guinea pig from your earlier videos? No, unfortunately both of my guinea pigs died a while ago. They both just died of old age. I think they were like, one was 7 and one was maybe 8 or 9. So pretty good lifespans. If you wanna have some real nostalgia, you can watch this video or something. Well, that's sad. That was the last question. I can't end on a sad question. Let me go back on Twitter and find like one more. Wait, I could find one. Hold on. on. Is hemp a good substrate for ball pythons? I'll leave that question up to you. Should we use hemp as ball python substrate? Great, last question. Okay, well there we go. I want to just do more Q&As because they're fun and easy overall, and I think people enjoy them because I just get to like randomly talk without like doing anything complicated or too controversial. So let me know something in the comments. I don't have anything to ask you this video, so again, you can get 15% off the GoHerping shop with code Q&A. More merchandise is on the way, but until then, you can beautify your enclosures with some natural supplies and bioactive stuff. So that's cool. Here's old Beardy still. Are his eyes closed? No, he's not. He's just angry. Okay, that's it. So I'm Alex, and thanks for watching.